a house, no one gave it, that's going to work for them. The difference is, if they're being cut off, exclusion, if they're being discriminated against, so that they cannot own their house, have their families, feed their families, then that's criminal. That's criminal. That's not part of any system, whether it's a democratic system, a socialist system. That's criminal. And maybe we're dealing with a society run, formed, operated by criminals. I don't know. But it is criminal. And not only do I know, and other blacks, whites know it's criminal. So it's I know that he knows that I know it's criminal. And that's where we're at.
That's where we at. "30 minutes every Saturday at the Garbage Gal." November 16, 2019. I just felt like getting up today and making a statement. You know? So many emotions, so few ways of expressing it. How can I express all these emotions?
Pictures that are made and misunderstood is based on what D.W. Griffith said during that hour, during that period.
I think we're at a time where we got to really start considering how can we make some of these changes that we've just been waiting for, longing for,
has something to do with the life,
fighting for so
long. They don't
long.
want you to tell them. That's the horrible thing about it. When you try to tell them how incorrect they are, you'll find a writer who will say, "These are my words. I don't want my words changed." But you
Can I start?
You didn't originate those words. You just assembled them from the same. And
Start by rolling my sleeves up.
How black people live, how black people.
That's where we got to start. First, we got to roll our sleeves up and really take a good look.
We face the same problem.
Take a good look around and see what we're dealing
The
with.
same way you live.
What are we dealing with? People.
I think it's racist. I've always felt that, part of it.
Dealing with people.
Game,
What kind of people? Superhuman people?
art, the best film.
Are we dealing with superhuman people that have superhuman abilities that you don't have?
I know America loves it.
Superhuman capabilities that you don't possess? I don't think so.
Very racist.
We're dealing with regular people
You should find the other part and burn all of it.
that, when you really sit down and think about it,
It's that's my first
not only are they not superhuman, not only do they not have abilities and capabilities that you don't possess,
Runaway carrots saying, I was coming, so I was coming. And white people, they always.
most likely you're of a more dominant gene pool.
Don't they realize that this.
They used to breed us, our ancestors. They used to breed them.
It's just very.
When they were slaves, they used to take the strongest slave, the most productive slave, and breed them. At least they tried. The men, they would do it.
My first experience.
I believe with the women, women was so irresistible, because if you were of a dominant gene pool, you were beautiful.
And then after that, of course.
You were healthy.
There were no black movies.
You were desirable. So they probably really couldn't help indulging in those types
And there always was
of
a convict.
chattel.
Someone.
We were chattel, like livestock.
Or someone.
They could do what they wanted to do. And a lot of the conditions that exist today are conditions that existed then. That's why we're where we're at now. That's why we're somewhat free, They won't. When they try to hide certain
Well, at that stage of my life, I didn't, I hated images because I always hated
historical details,
ignorance.
because they don't want those historical details to empower you,
I was based on that.
to make you feel more proud of who you are. But
It stuck in my mind that
just like today, we have individuals, even in these oppressive conditions, these individuals won't stand down. They're like, nah, that's not for me. That's not gonna go down like that. They're gonna have to kill me before I'm gonna accept these conditions. You had these types of individuals with this type of mentality back then. It's the only reason we're somewhat free today, because they couldn't completely break all of the people. A majority of them, just as today, a majority of people are fragile, weak, scared, willing to submit.
There's a big government scandal going on that you need to know about. The government is actually.
But you have a population
Let me explain.
of people that's like, nah, that's not going down like that with me. I'm not going for that. They're gonna have to kill me. Right?
Specific example.
Now, what I'm thinking, that's the population that I need to focus on.
On the $200,000 property. The property goes.
The population of the scared, fragile, timid, willing to submit.
The government uses $22,000.
Can't focus on them because they're gonna do exactly that.
Of $78,000. And here's the.
And if it was up to those types of individuals,
Millions and millions of dollars over the years. What happens to all
those people who are in power right now would have maintained the conditions that existed back then. We would still be in chains. We'd still be chatting.
It's made me and many others millions.
Don't get me wrong.
You want to know what happens to
We
that?
kind of are in these similar conditions, but now it's more mentally than literally. Right? Because the oppressor or the opposition, they're not stupid. They're very strategic, they're very smart. But more than that, the thing that makes them a formidable adversary is the fact that they're willing to put their life on the line. They're willing to go all out to accomplish their goals, to, you know, they're willing to put their lives on the line for something.
And do you want to know how you can do it too? Well, I'll be
in order to
on the upcoming free training, so that I can show you how you can
compete with this type of an opponent. You must have the same will.
And attend the free training.
You must be willing to die. In the name of your success. That's why they used to have tournaments where it was to the death. You had two adversaries that they both were so intent on winning that the only way that the match could end is if one of them was dead.
Sitting in the backyard enjoying this beautiful weather. Why? Because I'm not trading dollars for hours anymore. I don't have to punch a clock. I don't have.
Now, I'm putting my money where my mouth is at. And I learned a few things, and I'm learning things. One of the things that I've learned is there's nothing wrong with the laws. We do need laws because we need rules, we need order. We need guidelines for people to live by so we can know, how everyone can know how they need to conduct themselves in relations to one another. I think the laws are pretty much fine the way they are. The problem is with how people interpret the law. People can twist the interpretation of the law to suit their, or to suit themselves. And once the law is interpreted, then how the law is enforced is affected. So my take on situation and the problems therewith is the interpretation and the enforcement of the law. Now, being from the streets, and you come from the streets, we have a way that we're raised on how to address issues, difficulties, obstacles. It's more physical, right? That's why so much, crime and murder, killing, death in our community, because that's the way we've been bred and raised to address situations. But in civilization, when you're dealing on a big stage, they've created laws that punish this type of method. So you can't really be so physical. There is a time and a place for that. But basically, what I'm saying is, we're in a time that if you want to really be able to protect and defend yourself, you need to learn the law. And you need to be able to interpret when is the time and the place and the methods you can use to protect and defend yourself. The law. The law. The law of the land applies to everybody. Just a lot of people don't understand the law. They don't have the ability to interpret the law. And once you can't interpret the law, it's very difficult to enforce the law on your behalf. So I've been studying a lot, and everything I'm studying is leading me to some type of interpretation of the law. I'm aspiring to run for political office in a couple of years, 2021 to be exact, for mayor of New York City. You know, the mayor of New York City he's a magistrate. It's like somewhat like a judge, gets to interpret and rule on the law. He gets to lay down the laws. His body is like the council and everyone who oversees and tries to check and balance this. So I guess so he can't run them up and go too far if he somehow misinterprets the law. I guess there's no cut and dry way to interpret the laws, because it's really on whose behalf you're interpreting where I'm from. So I'm talking about interpreting the law for my peoples, the good peoples. And I say the good peoples, a lot of people may think I'm specifically talking about black people, but we're at a time where more than just black people fit into a certain pot that I tend to say I represent. I call it the good people. I judge people not by what they have, the color of their skin, I don't judge people by any physical means. I don't use physical characteristics to judge people that I might associate myself with or not. I judge people by two things. I judge people by their character, and I judge people by their nature. This is the way you get a true picture of who you're dealing with, character and nature. If you try to judge people by their possessions, you'll become totally confused with who you're dealing with. You won't even know if you're dealing with a good person or a bad person if you're blinded by material possessions. And this is the state that most of the community is lost in. I guess from going so long without having anything and aspiring to having something, and then being conditioned to believe that who you are and how important you are in the world is based on how much you have. Now, most people judge or evaluate people based on material possessions because this is what they want and this is how they want or think they can improve their image. As you can see, with fashion, with cars, houses, everyone's trying to raise their image by raising the stakes of their material possessions. But that doesn't determine the type of person you are. So many people that have an abundance of material things are terrible people when you judge them by their character and their nature. And a lot of times, they don't care about anyone else but themselves. Be careful with these types of people. Be careful with lowering your guard. Be careful with submitting to these types of people and pledging your support and loyalty to people because of their material possessions. Most of the time, they're not even willing to share the abundance of material possessions with the loyal people that pledge and submit to them. I'm going to be running for political office to become the mayor of New York City, a magistrate, person to lay down the laws. I think we're at a time that we need somebody from our community, from the hood. Yeah, I said that, from the hood. And I don't want white people and all these other people to be nervous and think, oh, we get somebody from the hood, it's over for us. No, you're from the hood too. If you don't have anything, if you're poor and you're struggling, you're not part of the circle of the elite. There's a small circle, man. They're only for them. And at the top, the circle is pretty much only white. You know, if you come down, there's levels to the game. As you come down, there's levels where there's it's a mix. It's a mixture of different types of people, just like on the bottom, it's a mixture. It's not just one race. All of us is messed up in the game. There's bad people. The bad people come in all the colors, all the sizes, all the genders. So I can't just stereotype. I don't embrace anyone because of a color. There's people that's my same color that'll destroy me. That I believe when we get really down to it and we get everything organized, we got to deal with them too. We got an element of juvenile delinquents running around in the community, robbing old folks. shooting, killing kids, killing people, unintended targets, or maybe they're just doing that for fun and doing it on purpose. Not with that. If I had it my way, we'll come together, create a body, vigilante, whatever you want to call it, an enforcement group that's commissioned by the community to go out and address these issues. Not the police. They're not there for us. The police is to protect the state, property. The police are there to protect the property, and property is owned by the wealthy. They're not there to protect the people. That's our misinterpretation. That's our misinterpretation. The police are there to protect and serve the people. That's what they've been conditioning us to think. And, you know, that's their plan. They ride right along with us with that misinterpretation. Yeah, let them think that. This way they won't resist the police. We're resisting now because we see their behavior and their actions don't match what our expectations of them is. See, that's when you got to judge by nature and character. The nature and character of the police that we imagine wouldn't be killing innocent civilians, wouldn't be manhandling the people of the community, wouldn't be doing that kind of stuff. But the actions that we see in reality, we know, we're starting to realize these police don't care nothing about the people. Maybe they're not here for the people, and they're not. So we need an enforcement group that's really there for the people. And everything that the people want, all the people have to do is voice that. Make it known. Say it plain. These so-called people that's the authority, the government, whatever you want to call it, they don't overpower or override the people. The power and the voice is with the numbers. The power, the voice is with the numbers. And so, as a political person, and I'm really not a political person because a political person is a professional that specializes in the art of deception. That's why everything they do don't match what they say. A political person is a professional that specializes in the art of deception. They deceive us with the laws. The news is a professional that specializes in the deception of information. The church is a professional that specializes in the deception of our faith. We don't need any more professionals. I'm an artist. I'm an activist, and I'm very passionate, and I'm very affected by the conditions that I and the people that I live amongst are living in. And so I believe it's up to us to make the change. It's up to us to make the changes. I don't get a lot of exposure on this social media. I don't got a lot of followers. I don't get a lot of likes and all. I don't care about none of that because I'm also very faithful in the Most High. And the only people that's going to get exposed to this are the people that's intended to be exposed to me at this particular time. When it's time for me to get massive exposure, something will happen and I'll be connected to masses of people. So I don't stress that. It's not time for me to be out there yet on the grand stage. I'm doing something conditioning my mind, my body, and my soul right now called 1 year of consecutive righteous days. I'm at my 4th month. So I've done over 120 days. Conditioning my mind, conditioning my body, conditioning my spirit. After that 1 year has concluded, then I'll be ready to start my formal campaign as an independent, not messing with the Democrat Party. I'm not messing with the Republican Party. It's the same thing, man. We've been going back and forth with these people deceiving us, misusing us, abusing us. Enough of that. That's enough of that. I'm coming as an independent. I'm coming to disrupt, coming to regulate. If what I've been inspired by from the Most High is my destiny and my future, then things look very grim for those peoples in power right now. I don't want everybody to vote for me. Because if you're not a part of the people that I'm coming to represent, you got a problem. You shouldn't help me get in position to bring you these problems, because it's not going to be pretty for you. I promise you. And I know how dangerous it is. Somebody like me coming, after a while, you resort to the most extreme tactic of trying to resolve the situation. Let's murder him. Let's get rid of him. I promise you, you'd rather deal with me, with my spirit contained in this body, than in the other form. I've already meditated on that. Inshallah. I'm waking up the spirits of the ancestors too. I'm a descendant of the cotton pickers. They've called upon me to make moves. I'm actually an elder in training. Yeah, we need some elders around here creating some order. We don't have any elders because they done killed them all. My name is Aaron Benjamin Miles. The name of my campaign is Rise of the Good People. My website is riseofthegoodpeople.org. On Facebook and Instagram, you can follow me on Rise of the Good People or on Before Becoming Mayor of NYC. It's a docu-series documenting my daily progress before becoming Mayor of NYC. Because I'm so sure of the fact that I'm going to become the next mayor of NYC that I decided to document the journey before that point. I had some great vision for New York City, which is the most blessed city in the world. It's time for some real big leap for New York City. As I've discovered, it's had several big leaps in the past to get us to where we are right now, and we're due for another big leap. So many other places that's been imitating us are at our level or surpassing us. So I think it's time. Hopefully I can earn your vote of confidence going forward. I know I have a lot more to learn. I have a lot more preparation to do. But I'll have you know for sure that I've started this journey and I plan to see it through to the finish. 30 minutes every Saturday at the Garbage Gallery.